I see a whole lot of similarities between I Pet Goat 2, the Titans, the recent spotting in the sky, and maybe a little bit Operation Bluebeam. If you remember, after they show the ritual, the death ritual with Samhain, and then Baron Samedi comes, Papa Gede, right after the Holly fake holy days, actually the pagan days, but the false Christians think that's when Jesus was born, but it's not. It's just a corporate holiday. But anyway, after that, you see in the sky the ships going up by. Hmm, hmm, hmm. Some things I couldn't help but notice. So the UFO flew over Tennessee. Then when I read on it, people were talking about the Tennessee Titans. Now, who were the Tennessee Titans originally? They were the Oilers. They were the Houston Oilers. Then they were the Tennessee Oilers. And what was their mascot? A derrick. Where does derrick derive? Where did that come from? It could be applied to the framework supporting a drilling apparatus on an oil rig. Also, a derrick was a type of gallows named after Thomas Derrick, the Elizabethan era English executioner. Yeah, the executioner. May there be a message. The SpaceX Titan with Elon Musk should be interesting too. The Titans against the Jacksonville Jaguars. That should be interesting. So currently, the Tennessee Titans mascot is the T-Rac. What's a T-Rac? A raccoon. It's a raccoon. What is a raccoon known for? Its dexterous paws, its facial mask, it's masked, and its ringed tail. Yeah, that rings a bell. Why does it ring a bell? Because it goes with the indigenous. In mythology, if you recall, the relationship between the animal and the people. And a raccoon is known for its intelligence. Yes, a raccoon is very intelligent. It's been known to hold its memory task for up to 3 years. Good job, raccoon. Good job. In mythology, a lot of this is featured around female deities and indigenous people. For instance, the big turtle. Another one is the first mother, whose body was the corn and the tobacco. And then there's another where it's the two great divine culture heroes, Glasscap and Monobus. There are other stories, but in some mythology, you had the Iroquois, you had the Ho-Chunk, you had the Wyandot, and you had Seneca. So different regions. You had the Confederacy tribes in New York. You had the North American tribes of eastern Wisconsin, the North American tribes of Lake Ontario. And then with Seneca, that was the North American tribe in the south of Lake Ontario. So just a little bit of history, or her story. Another mention would be the Great Plains. Stories unique in the Great Plains feature buffalo, which provided the plains people with food, clothing, housing, and utensils. In some myths, they were benign, and in some others, fearsome and malevolent. The sun is an important deity. Another supernatural character includes the morning star, which we know the morning star is Lucifer, and the thunderbirds. A common theme in the making of the journey, often to a supernatural place across the landscape or up to the parallel world in the sky. One of the other dominant trickster stories of the plains is Old Man, about whom numerous humorous stories are told. The old man, known as Wazia, lived beneath the earth with his wife, and they had a daughter. Their daughter married the wind and had 4 sons, north, east, south, and west. The sun, moon, and winds then ruled the universe together. An important superhero, or should I say an important supernatural hero, is the blood clot boy, transformed from a clot of blood. Here's another honorable mention: California and the Great Basin. Myths of this region are dominated by the sacred creator, the trickster, the coyote. Other significant characters include the sun people, the star woman, and darkness. A few of the most distinctive ceremonies of this region were the funeral customs and their commemoration of the dead. When a death occurred, the house in which it happened would be burnt down, and there would sometimes be bans on speaking the names of the dead. Widows would be smeared with pitch, and their hair would be cut until the annual mourning releases them. I paused on and stretched out the word mourning because it made me think of how people often here in the U.S. will say good morning. I don't mourn. I live each day. I rise with the sun. I'm not going to die. That's not for me. That death. Anyway, well, I mean, I will. My body will at some point, but my soul's eternal, But that's another point. This mourning came to be known as the burning, or the cry, or the dance of the dead. During these ceremonies, multiple properties are burned while the tribes dance, chant, and wails in order to appease the ghosts. Another common ceremony is one that takes place when adolescents hit puberty. Girls go through a series of grueling taboos when her first period starts, but it is followed by a celebration dance when it ends. Boys will undergo an official initiation into the tribe by participating in ceremonies that recount the tribe's mysteries and myths. A lot of you may already be familiar with Project Bluebeam and directed energy. This is nothing new under the sun, but for people that maybe this is new to, here is a basic list. Many of us have studied all of these. Some people are going down them one by one, but don't get stuck in the rabbit hole. It's not the focus, but it's something to be aware of. Project Bluebeam, directed energy weapons, holograms in the sky, 5G satellites, LRAD, and Medusa. Remember, we talked about Medusa in my last video attached to Omicron. What is Project Bluebeam? These are all different parts of different programs and operations. So there's the false return of Jesus Christ, the false revelation of God, 3D holograms in the sky, voice of God weapon, long-range acoustic device, voice-to-skull technology devices, Medusa, mob excess deterrent silent audio, mind control nano-brain implants, diffuse artificial thought, unity in one word proclaimed, man-made earthquakes, NASA, NSA, CIA, DARPA, and we all know HARPA, but that's an old one actually, and General Electric. That is the big one. Anyway, and the fake alien invasion. The fake alien invasion. So I can't help but wonder with some of the stuff we're seeing today, what's attached to what mind control program. Many super soldiers have been programmed with a lot of these. And then a lot of people who were diagnosed as crazy or schizophrenic are actually unknown participants in a lot of voice to skull technology, where they're hearing voices in their head. People on the outside are telling them you're crazy and it's multiple personalities and other stuff, when no, sometimes it's actually just the mind control. Now, the sad thing is a lot of this here is extremely old, and a lot of the good old college boys and people have access to this. It's readily available. So a lot of people who are targeted individuals have problems because the controllers of some of these programs that have access over their mental caps are causing them a bunch of dis-ease. So that's a polite way of saying it. I encourage you to do your due diligence research, but don't get so focused on these things that people call conspiracy theories that are not conspiracy theories. All you got to do is do the research. It's there and it is verifiable. But just like with directed energy weapons, I'm not going to read all of this because I don't really want to get the Facebook spanking, but I am thinking of starting some private groups and maybe a private page where I could start talking more on